Developer update, August 2024. The Dredge, minor update. Increased movement speed while charging Reign of Darkness to 3.8 meters a second was 3.68 meters a second. Change increased teleport speed outside of Nightfall to 19 meters a second was 12 meters a second. Wow. Reduced teleport cooldown outside of Nightfall to 10 seconds was 12 seconds. Decreased time to break out of a locked locker to 2.25 seconds was 3 seconds. Wow. Increased charge rate of the Nightfall meter to 1 charge per second per injured survivor was 0.75. Change reduced volume of the Dredge's sound effects to make it harder to detect. I got excited because I thought that it was reducing the screaming in Nightfall. Okay, so Dredge is going to be a little less sloshy. Change adjusted several add-ons. If note, we've increased the Dredge's movement speed both while charging its power and while teleporting outside of Nightfall to give it a slight boost in strength and feel. The Dredge could have difficulty taking advantage of the reduced visibility in Nightfall due to their loud sound effects when approaching, so we've reduced their volume. We've also incorporated parts of the effects of some must-have add-ons into the base kit, then toned them down accordingly. This is great. Dredge just wasn't in a good spot. Like, Dredge has a cool, unique power. It just, like, wasn't really good to use in Chase. And it's hard to, like, find a balance where Dredge has a good feeling power without being too oppressive. And I hope that this is what he needs. Sorry, I hope this is what Dredge needs. To feel like a better killer to play. Because right now, I don't really enjoy playing as a killer. I know a lot of people do. And this is good. It looks like behavior is going through and adjusting some like less strong killers and making them a bit stronger, and they're like slowly going through the roster and doing that, and I like that. I just wish this change introduced some accessibility with the screams during Nightfall. And I also see Doctor is next, and I feel like the Dredge, Doctor, Plague, and Spirit are huge accessibility like nightmares. If you struggle with certain kinds of accessibility, then these killers are super, like, hard to go against. Like, me personally, I have to play muted against Dredge and the Doctor, and I don't see anything, like, adjusting that here. And that makes me believe that, like, there won't be any adjustments to it. And whenever I try to talk about things like this on Twitter, or even on Twitch, people just tell me that not every game is meant for every person, or I would be nerfing the killers too much, or accessibility isn't important. And that makes me feel bad. That is one thing that I wish I saw here. I wish that Nightfall was a bit quieter here, because that would help with a lot of the accessibility issues with Dredge. The Doctor. New. Reduce static blast cooldown to 30 seconds if no survivors are in range. Huh. Change. Reduce static blast cooldown to 45 seconds if a survivor is in range. Change. Increased movement speed while charging static blast to 2.99 meters a second was 1.16 meters a second. What? That is kind of a big speed boost. Speed boost? A speed increase, isn't it? That's more than double. Change. Adjusted static blast cooldown add-ons accordingly. That's pretty big. The Doctor's static blast can be a helpful tool for players who struggle to find survivors, but the long cooldown makes it punishing to miss. We've reduced the static blast cooldown slightly if a survivor is affected, and reduced it much further if nobody is in range. We've also increased his movement speed while charging static blast to make it feel better to use. Like I said, once again, there's nothing to do with accessibility, like going against Dredge or Doctor here, which I wish... I feel like this would be a perfect time to introduce, like, these changes. They're, like, buffing these killers, and I feel like adding accessibility options against Dredge and the Doctor would be perfect right here. But these seem like good changes. It feels like these killers might be played more. Oh, a Nemesis change too? Okay. Change. Requirement for reaching mutation 2 has been reduced to 5 contamination points was 6. Wow, okay. Increased hindered penalty duration when infecting a survivor to 2 seconds was 0.25 seconds. What? Oh my god, what? That's huge! Change. Adjusted Liquor Tongue and Marvin's Blood add-ons. Dev note, to help him get up and running, we have reduced the requirement for the Nemesis to reach mutation rate 2. This effectively means the Nemesis can reach mutation rate 2 in its first 3 tentacle strikes on a single survivor. The hindered effect caused by infecting a survivor was previously very short, making its effect inconsequential. We have extended the hindered effect to last throughout the speed boost the survivor gains from being hit with the tentacle, reducing the amount of distance they gain. Quicker level 2 tentacle, which is insane, and actually making the hindered effect feel good. Wow. Wow. Behavior is feeding these killers. Nemi beans rise up. That's so good. Blast Mine. Change reduce activation requirement to 40% of generator repairs was 50. No, does this make it practical? No, but let's be honest, that's not why you're using Blast Mine. We've slightly reduced the repair requirements to make it a little easier to activate, but not so easy that it becomes annoying to face. This would also make it easier to activate Blast Mine while repairing generators with other survivors. Yay! Wiretap. The same thing. Reduce activation requirement to 40% was 50. Chemical Trap. Reduce the activation requirement to 20% of generator repairs was 50. Reduce trap duration to 40, 50, 60 seconds was 100, 110, 120. Okay, so they like halved it. They made it a lot easier to get and half the time that it lasts. Mirrored Illusion. Reduce activation requirements to 20% of generator repairs was 50. Reduce duration to 40, 50, 60 seconds was 100, 110, 120. Okay, this just got the chem trap treatment. That's what we're calling it now. Dance with me! Okay, change reduce cooldown to 30, 25, 20 seconds was 60, 50, 40. They literally halved the cooldown. Oh, wait, that's kind of cool. Deception, change reduce cooldown. They same dance with me change. They halved it. 30-second cooldown instead of 60. Oh, baby. Oh my god, diversion. Reduce activation requirements to 30 seconds instead of 40. Let's go. Diversion requires being within the clear radius without being chased. This is much stricter than a typical cooldown, so you've cut the requirement down significantly. Pause. Pause. How come diversion doesn't go up when you're in chase, but distortion does, and distortion's the stronger perk? I feel like they both should go up in chase, or they both shouldn't. Can we talk about that? Can we talk about that? Anyways. I like that they're decreasing the cooldown. Flashbang. Change, oh my god, reduce activation requirements to 50% instead of 70. Dude, flashbang gremlins are foaming at the freaking mouth. Oh my god, they are foaming. They're going feral. They're running around in circles going they're hulking out. They're ripping off their shirts. They're screaming. Okay. Prestige. Prestige levels are no longer shown in the pregame lobby. Oh, damn it, seeing a high prestige level cause some players to feel intimidated and leave the lobby. This has a negative effect on matchmaking and discourages players from playing their favorite survivors. Prestige levels will no longer be shown in pregame lobby. They will remain visible after the match has ended so you can show off your accomplishments. My one complaint with this is you see a lot of hackers just P100ing a character that just came out, and that's an easy way to avoid playing against a hacker, and now we can't see that. That's my only complaint. But I think that's good. A lot of people have been asking for this. I kind of wish that this was a toggle where the survivor could choose if they want to show the prestige or not in the lobby. I think it should be a toggle. And like the killer can have it if they want to see it or not too. I feel like having this be a toggle option would be great. But the thing here, they're saying it has a negative effect on matchmaking. They don't want killers to feel intimidated and dodge. So some people wouldn't mind showing their P100s, and then that would scare the killers away. Essentially, behavior just wants like the quickest matchmaking that they can have without the game feeling horrible, right? Obviously, because like people are experiencing high queue times right now with 2v8, and you're seeing so much negative feedback about it. And if you ever played Survivor like 2 years ago, like during nighttime, the queues were like as long as 2v8 killer queues are right now. It was like 10 to 15 minutes minimum to get like tunneled out without base kit BT in like 2 minutes. So I think they just want people to have fast lobbies because it feels kind of bad if you're not having fast lobbies, right? So maybe this, I still think that this should be a toggleable option, but the fact that they're saying it has a negative effect on matchmaking, I can see why they don't want it to be, and they just want it to be like flat out across the board. Hook stages. Increased duration of hook stages. Wait, increased duration of hook phases to 70 seconds was 60. Some time ago, the total repair time of generators was increased. For the most part, this was a positive change, though it had the side effect of making camping more effective. Focusing on repairs was the best way other survivors could counter camping. But with the repairs taking longer, the survivors aren't able to get as much done before the hook survivors sacrifice. To combat this, we are increasing the duration of each hook phase to 70 seconds. This will allot more time for survivors to repair if the killer chooses to camp the hook survivor. Killer mains are weeping. They're bashing their heads against the wall. Also, you heard it here, guys. You heard it here. If you see your teammate getting camped, don't crouch around the hook and being like, the killer is gonna leave soon. It's okay. No, go get your ass on a gen and go slam that bitch. Even the devs are telling you what to do here. Scratch marks. Improve scratch mark visibility. Scratch marks are an important tracking tool, but could be hard to see on some surfaces. We've reviewed each map to ensure they're adequately visible. Look at this. Before, after. Sorry. That wasn't me clapping my hands. Midwich Elementary School. Removed breakable walls in the bathrooms. Navigating the map can be difficult for those who don't have it memorized. To make it easier to get between floors, we've removed the breakable walls, which previously blocked the path between floors in the bathrooms to improve vertical mobility. Altered layout of hallways to reduce long-range visibility. Added objects near exit gates to reduce visibility. The hallways used to have long sight lines, making it easy to spot approaching killers and difficult for survivors to hide. We've moved some objects around to limit in the hallways. I think they meant to limit, like, vision or sight in the hallways. I think they forgot a word. That's okay. We've also added objects obstructing the view of exit gates to make it harder to stand in the center of the map and monitor both gates at once. I will say, like, a few years ago, I think it was a year or two ago, they said that Midwich has the highest kill rate, and that wouldn't surprise me if it still did. Okay, guys. Those are the patch notes.